Will property taxes here in Florida be eliminated at the end of 2026 for primary residences only? This plan is a very hot topic at the moment and a very popular proposal, so let me give you my thoughts and take on whether or not it's going to happen. So who wouldn't want to eliminate property taxes, right? When the vote comes, it will definitely pass. No brainer. Well, sorry to pee on anybody's fireworks, but I'm just not feeling the optimism that a lot of people are feeling, and like a few of you, I'm sure, I'm skeptical. Not because it wouldn't be great, but when have we ever seen governments really give back or give up, sacrifice such a steady and healthy income stream? And there's no doubt that property taxes have risen over the years because house prices have risen and more homes are being built here in Florida. So being such a lucrative income stream for them where they do so well each year, are they really going to give it up? Now, apparently there are going to be 8 proposals on the ballot. Not 1 or 2, not even 3 or 4, but 8 for a very simple question that needs 60% to pass. So I'm really not seeing this moving forward, but all we need to know is, are you in favour of eliminating property taxes on primary residences? Boom, that's all we need to know. And as keen and eager as Desantis is for pushing this, it seems there are a lot of Republicans behind the scenes that aren't so keen. But let's hear what Desantis had to say on this.
To higher taxes, such as higher property taxes, to pay for these spending habits. And you know, these property taxes, it's like you buy a home, you buy land, you know, maybe you buy the home outright, but maybe you pay off a mortgage over 30 years. And then, okay, you've paid off the mortgage, you bought the land, you've been taxed many times. It's like, is it your property or not? Just for being on your property, you got to write a check to the government every year. So you're basically paying rent to the government to live on your own property. And our homestead exemption is not strong enough to help these folks because the property gets assessed so high. And that's the thing. If you buy a home for $300,000 and you know there's certain tax, well then what? 10 years later, they say it's worth $700,000. And so, and they say, you know, there's homestead stuff that helps protect you to a certain extent, but you're paying more. And a lot of people can't afford that. So I think that that's a big issue. And I know we're going to be really looking at ways to bring people relief from that, because I think it's been really something that's pinching a lot of homeowners, particularly seniors on fixed income. But the reality is people have seen, and this is not the state, we don't control this, you know, we've not allowed any of that stuff to happen. We've been cutting taxes, but people have seen their property tax liability go up over these last years because the property is being assessed higher and higher. And the reality is you don't really know how much your home is worth until someone offers you money and is willing to pull the trigger on a sale. That's how a market works. You can say it's worth this much, but if no one's willing to come and offer you that much, then why should you pay taxes on that amount? And so there's a lot of things that need to be done.
For what it's worth, I think Desantis really means this, and he truly does want to eliminate property taxes. Personally, I have a lot of time for Desantis. I've lived here for 12 years now, and I've been here throughout his whole tenure of 7 years, and I think he's done a great job. You know, I don't want to make this too political, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of backlash from people that don't like him, but I feel like he's one of the best governors in the country, and I feel like, you know, we have such a well-run state here. And I don't think there's any coincidence that so many people have looked to move here over the past 5 or 6 years because they're coming from states that just don't have the same policies as what Florida has and the same freedoms. We saw that during COVID. We've seen that. We've just seen him react to things so well here. I mean, you see the hurricane relief that we deal with here. I feel like everything's been dealt with so well in those situations, and we've had a few of them over the last few years. Infrastructure, jobs. I just truly feel like he's done a great job. He's halved the deficit for Florida, and we've got $15 billion in reserves. So if that doesn't show you that so many states just aren't well run, I don't know what does. I mean, I come from England, right? And all I can say is that although I've never lived in another state, it looks like a lot of other states use the European blueprint of how to just waste money, how to just absolutely put the people last. And I just feel like he's done a great job, honestly. Like I said, I've never lived in another state, but I speak to people regularly. You know, I help people move here for a living, and I hear a lot of this. A lot of people tell me that why they're leaving these states, and a lot of them are up north or even like California and places, even Colorado, you know. So yeah, I get to hear it firsthand. So what's the pushback from these other Republicans behind the scenes? You've seen what Desantis has said. He looks genuine and sincere in what he's pushing for, but the front runner to replace him is a guy by the name of Byron Donalds, and this is what he said originally on eliminating property taxes. He said, would I love to eliminate property taxes? Yes. However, if we eliminate property taxes in the state of Florida, we'd have to double the sales tax. And then DeSantis snapped back with that and said, well, I'm pretty sure the legislature would not raise the state tax, and I'm quite certain I'd veto any increase. So it doesn't sound like DeSantis is going to be endorsing this Byron Donalds, but I don't know yet. He hasn't come out and said who he's publicly backing.
Pretty expensive. They added a lot. And as the governor says right now, this is like renting your house from the government. This isn't ownership.
That's what
this is like living on the king's land, like a serf. So you are, I just want to get this cut and dry for the record. You are against property tax. You want to abolish property taxes in the state.
Yes.
Really quickly here, and this will be my last question. This will be my last questions, and then we'll jump over to the questions.
Real
here.
quick.
Yeah.
I saw your face. I'm gonna address your face because I know what you're thinking.
Oh man.
What about police? How are we going to pay our police officers? How are we going to pay our firefighters? How are we going to do road construction? Look, there are things that local government does. We have to pay our sheriffs. We need them. Law and order is critical to a free society because you got to hold the bad guy accountable. Firefighters, essential, because if somebody's house catches fire, we all want the services for them to show up and take care of our property. Road construction, road maintenance, important. Those are things that we got to deliver. We can actually still deliver those things without having obscene property taxes, which are pricing people out of buying homes. It's about getting spending under control on the local level and the state level.
Now, there is another front runner by the name of Jay Collins, and this guy's a Green Beret. He lost his leg in combat. I actually knew nothing about him until recently, where I was at a Charlie Kirk memorial event right after his assassination, and this guy came up and he was the end speaker, and he was really empowering. I mean, this guy, he's a true vet, and he's just very patriotic, and apparently he's all for it. Now, I haven't heard him come out and say that, but that's what a lot of people are saying. So this guy's going to be quite interesting to see, this Jay Collins, and apparently having those military connections. Apparently DeSantis is going to back him, but look, we'll see how that turns out. Now, if I'm wrong on this, guys, and this thing does pass and move forward, I cannot even imagine what the market will be like again. As a realtor, it will change the landscape here for real estate completely. You know, you're talking about people saving anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 plus annually. That will make a huge impact on sales and really the development of Florida in general. Now, of course, that isn't for, it wouldn't eliminate property taxes for commercial buildings, for apartments, and for the millions of second homes that people own, snowbirds, etc. So they will still get a very healthy and steady income from all of those properties. But eliminating the primary residences, wow, that really is going to be something else if it does pass. And if this thing doesn't go forward, I'm sure it will open up future conversations about potentially halving property taxes or eliminating them entirely for certain people. I know there are some proposals already for the generation that are 65 plus, and that would really give something for people to aspire to, especially anybody who's in that kind of 55 to 65 age range. You know, if they know that their property taxes are going to be eliminated the minute they get to 65, then again, it makes a big difference on their finances. You know, we're hearing a lot of talk at the moment about 50-year mortgages they're not benefiting anybody apart from a handful of kids that are trying to get on the property ladder. You know, it might be better off renting for a lot of people, but who knows, maybe there are some other benefits to it. And of course, they are talking about a portable mortgage now, where you can take your current mortgage and take it into your next home. Something like that would be a serious game changer, because of course, interest rates are higher than what they were 3 or 4 years ago. So a lot of talk at the moment, but really the market, guys, is in a very healthy place right now. The best homes are still selling very well. The ones that aren't and that are overpriced are sitting there and they're not going anywhere. And that's what we want to see. We want to see a market that is dictated by supply and demand, and there are great incentives for builders. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if I can help you in any way, please reach out to me. All of my contact info is below. But let's see how this thing goes. It's going to be really interesting to see. So yeah, thanks again for tuning in, guys. If you can please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're after any more real estate content on the west coast of Florida. Thanks again.